and it's pretty cold out there, at least on the east coast of the USA. However, insects can still be found, and so for today's broadcast, I went out into the backyard. I'm broadcasting from Georgia, the state Georgia, and I found a log. Hi Frank, how are you? And I wasn't really sure if I'd find anything in it because it's in the middle of a pretty manicured part of the lawn, but I was like, oh, let's see. And so I went to lift up the log, and that was semi-successful because when I went to do that, the log broke because it was that soggy and wet, especially from the rain and the recent snow that occurred even here in Georgia. I'll show you a picture of the log so you guys can see, get a sense of this. What is this log that I was looking at right there? There's the log. And then here's my hand for size reference for the log. So you can see it's like a, decent sized log. Hi Robert, how's it going? Thanks so much for the heart bomb. So yeah, I lifted it up and it broke apart, and then I went and tried to lift it up a little more, but then I was like, oh my gosh, there were a lot of things hunkered down in that log. It was really exciting. So I sampled some of them, put them in our container here, and we can together take a look through our handy dissection scope and take a look at what we have here. And there's a lot of interesting organisms here that were hunkered down in that log. So let me just readjust a couple of things here, and then we will dive in. Okay, push this back. All right, cool. Screen share time. And I'll let you guys guess what we're looking at before I talk about what the things are, because that's always fun. Another idea I have, and you guys let me know in the chat if this is something you're interested in, is playing some insect Wordle. So, hi Pablo, how's it going? So if you're not familiar, Wordle is this game that's very popular right now. I'm pretty obsessed with it. You go on, each day there's a puzzle that you can solve. It's one a day. And you have to guess what the 5-letter word is. And it's kind of like Mastermind, where you type in a word. So you say, great, Great. That's a 5-letter word. And then the game tells you if any of those letters are letters that are in the word that the game has chosen as the answer. And so you kind of work your way down. You have 6 chances to get to the final word of the day, whatever that 5-word thing might be. So I've started to compile a list of 5-letter insect words so that we can play Wordle. So stay tuned. I think we will do that next Thursday. All right. If anybody knows of an app or something or online website where you can type in your own answer, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just do it in like a Word document or something like that. I'll figure out how to do it. But next Thursday is going to be Insect Wordle. So, yeah. Oh yes, Bug Wordle. Deanna, hello. Hi, David. Yeah, it's a really fun game. I love word games. They're fun. I like puzzles, figuring things out. That's why I like bugs in part 2, because there's a lot to figure out with bugs. Thanks for the love celebration. So now let's shed some love on these bugs that we have here and take a look. I'll start sharing the screen. Hello, The Voice. How are you doing today? Okay. Just gonna get it in focus before I switch over. Okay. We're pretty zoomed in too. So, okay. There's a bunch of different things in this dish, which was pretty exciting. One's crawling into the screen right now. So let's get this up. Oops. Okay. All right, we have our screen. You can see the bark. Oh, let me make it I'll zoom in a little bit more too. There we go. All right, let's find an insect. And then you guys can tell me what it is. Oh, wait. And there's definitely some insects in here that are smaller that I definitely did not see when I was setting this up. So we'll have some surprises and some not. We'll start with the one that I think is an easy one, an easier one. Very recognizable at least. One moment. Okay. There's the tail of one, but that's not the one that I'm looking for. Okay, so here's one member of the living in the log family. Yes, a variety of bug scope. Not just one today. Hopefully this one's okay. It's pretty chill, just resting here. So here is our first insect. The end of it might give it away what it is. Hi Zach, how's it going? Thanks, I'm doing well, the voice. Yeah, this one's very chill. Do I have I did not get my forceps properly out here for this broadcast. I will start by using a pencil. If I can't use my pencil, I will run over to the other room and grab my soft tweezers. I guess they are in the other room. Yeah, it's an earwig. Oh, and there's a second earwig. Bustling through. I don't know why this earwig is so chill. Hopefully it's okay. But it makes it a lot easier for us to look at. Yep, it's an earwig. Oh no, thanks David. I'll need to change that then. Yeah, so this is an earwig. I don't know what kind yet, so after this broadcast, what I'm probably going to do... Oh, actually, you know how I can figure it out? I can take my phone, go onto the awesome app called Seek. The best thing ever. This is Seek. And then if I point my camera to it, it says that it is the ring-legged earwig, which is not native according to this. And so I will say too that maybe it's posing. I hope so. I will say too that I highly recommend you guys the app called Seek. You just take a picture of something and then all of a sudden it'll help you identify what it is. It's not the be-all end-all. Sometimes it will get it wrong. Oh, here's not quite a centipede, but a millipede, Zach. Yeah, so Seek will tell you what can help you identify what you're looking at. Sometimes it does get it wrong, so I do recommend you be careful. This is where multiple sources are very helpful. Here, I'll move over so you can see the millipede too a little bit. It's not on the same focal plane though, that's the problem. We'll say hi to the millipede in a moment. But there is a millipede hanging out. There's the tail end of the millipede. Oh, it's interacting with another resident. Oh, let's go check out the interaction. Okay. Isn't it such a bright millipede? Look at those stunning colors. So bright orange. So cool. Oh, and we have someone escaping too, you guys. I will boop the earwig in a moment. But first, let's say hello to our escapee, who is another member that we haven't really looked at yet. There's a lot going on in here. Probably because they're outside in cold, cold weather, then all of a sudden they are warm. So here's some sort of snail. So I will admit, although these are commonly called bugs, gastropods, snails, the non-insect invertebrates definitely do not fall into my area of expertise. So I do not know so much about them, but we can all appreciate them together at least, and then upload them to Seek and figure out what they are. Okay, this is as minimal I can go with the magnification at the moment because, sorry, let me get this a little more stable for us because of the current settings, but you can see this beautiful snail just moving along. It's so cute. Look at those eyes stretching out. And the texture of the skin is really cool to see too. I don't know what species. Hey Marilyn, how's it going? But this was one of the other fellow animals hanging out on the log. Here, let me go like this and refocus for us. Excuse, once again, I'm sorry everyone who might not be able to handle the shakiness. It's hard to do macro live, but we're doing it. Woo! Trying to get this in focus as much as possible. Sliding along. Pretty amazing how they move without any feet. Feet like us, at least. Some people would call. It looks like there's a breathing hole right there, too. And isn't it amazing how they make those shells? Like, we think of them as such soft animals, but they kind of make a skeleton for themselves at the same time. And there's the tail end of it. Zach is saying they don't like salt. Is that right? Yeah, salt will cause them to lose water because of the way that osmosis and diffusion works. It'll cause water to leave their cells and dry them all up. It'll cause desiccation. We'll say hi to the snail one more, then get back to our earwig buddy and see how they're doing. Oh, sorry that it's lagging. Hello, Legion of Doom Scrollers. Interesting. But yeah, cheers. Thanks for saying hello. Where do they get all the lubricant to move easier? That's a great question. I think, I think I'll just have to bring a guest who knows about snails back onto the bug scope because it's been a while. We haven't talked about snails recently. They're pretty fascinating organisms, and that way we can learn about them and honor them properly because I don't have enough information in my brain about them, but we can appreciate them together at least. Oh, good night, Deanna. Cheers. Hi, Adopt-A-Dog. How's it going? All right, let's get back to... And the snail's actually returning. The snail is returning back to the log down here. I'm going to see if we might benefit from not having as much magnification for this broadcast. So I'm going to think about adding in this one, which cuts the amount of magnification in half. So one moment, let's explore that idea. Yeah, the snail's the one that is really moving the most in here, besides that millipede. Has places to go, things to see. All right, there is another animal here that... Here, there's the snail. I'll get it in focus, and then I'm going to show you this other animal that's in here, which is very visible at the moment. Let me add some more light for us too. Bye, snail. See you later. So cool. That texture of its body is so cool. Okay. All right, can you guys tell me what this animal is? Ready? Here we go. Trying to move nice and evenly if possible. All right, this one does not like the light, so it's probably gonna sneak away or keep on trying to run away. But here's our next buggy friend who's looking for a place to hunker down. Zach is asking, is it a maggot? Frank is saying Coleoptera. This is a beetle larvae. So yes, Coleoptera. It's some sort of beetle grub. So we call beetles, at least in this form, this kind of beetle shape, because beetles as larvae take on many different sizes and shapes and life histories, like ways of living, lifestyles. This one is the kind that you find in the ground, kind of curled up like a C shape. And it's probably some sort of scarab beetle. It's actually a really nice example of an insect because we can see a lot of little hairs on its body. We can see those circle things on the side that are the spiracles. Those orangey yellowish, those golden dots down the side of its body are the openings for air to help it breathe. And yeah, it's very see-through. Yes. If you look at the back of its body, you can see like all its waste that's on the way out. It's really moving so much. It's hard to get in focus. I'll see if I can find another one that's moving less. Here. Okay, let's try this one. I mean, it's still moving like a decent amount, but let me see if I can. Oh, you know what would help too? If the background was black. Because just because it's like, or maybe I can make this darker. Would that help? Not sure. It's a lot of light bouncing back up into the camera that I'm trying to control. But yeah, here's a beetle larvae. This is a lot of gardeners will probably find this beetle and squish it because they'll sip at the roots of plants underground, and sometimes they might be, or oftentimes when you find this in a garden, it might be the Japanese beetle, which is a type of scarab beetle that is an invasive species. That's how it got that name, because it's native to Japan, although of course there's many different types of really cool Japanese beetles, but the one that's over here, that's an invasive species. Do I have it in here? I might have it in my book. Excuse me. I think I do. Let me see. Oh, I do. I'm talking about Papillia japonica, which is this one. There's a chance this beetle might be this one, but I really don't know, and I don't think I'm really able to tell either, because a lot of these beetles have, like, not being a specialist, I'd need to like really dive in and read the literature and stuff like that, because a lot of these beetles have very similar larval characteristics. It's very common for them to be so pale colored, have, here, let me turn it around so you can see its face. I'll see if I can make it more comfortable with some soil too. Does that make you more comfortable? Little buggy? Little baby buggy? It is a baby after all. Just trying to live its best baby bug life in the soil. You can see its front legs, its front true legs. Yeah, some comfy little dirt for its crib. You can see, hi Georgia, you can see its front legs. It has 6 legs, like any insect, true insect does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on either side. Help it crawl around and get adjusted. And also I'll point out how its body is very pale and white, and also very thin and very soft, which means it would make really great food for any insect or any like mole or mammal that might be hungry. But its head is not white. Its head capsule, we call them head capsules in entomology, is like an orangish color. It's more tough, and it needs to be, because that's a very important part of the insect's body. It's not going to expand as much as the rest of it, because the rest of its body needs to expand as it eats food. And the head capsule is also where it needs to be strong so that it can bite. Like we have our teeth, which are very hard for biting. It also needs a tough head structure so that it can chew on food and be strong that way. Strong mandibles. So there's our little Yeah, it's moving around so much. Let's go move on to someone else and see if any of our other log life friends are ready for viewing. Yeah, it's really just trying to hide. It's like, it's who turned on the lights? It's too bright. So that's the tricky part. But if I turn off the lights, we won't be able to look at it and appreciate it. Jones, hello, over on YouTube. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing today? And yes, CG, it does look very plump and juicy. I'd probably try one if it wasn't eating dirt right now. Although maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm not sure what this one was eating. But yeah, it's really moving a lot. So that makes it hard for us to see it properly and not without a little bit of blur. But I do, from this view, I really am appreciating seeing all those little hairs on its back, which probably help it with grip in the soil, probably help with grip in the soil, probably help it sense when soil's moving around it, things like that. So yeah, let's go see who else is around. Okay. So we can say hi to the snail again for a moment, because the snail's in a really wonderful pose at the moment. Very visible and typical snail. Oh, and look, the snail's poking his or her eyes on the side of the container, and then they're going whoop back in, looking at its reflection here. Oh, looks like it's kissing itself, like in the mirror, but now it's just going up the mirror. Okay. All right, let's move on. In order to move on, though, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna put this in so we can get a little farther away from what we're looking at. I think, well, I don't know. I can't decide. I wish it was easier to switch between this magnification and a less magnification. Mirror romance, yeah. Quick, give it a piece of mail to deliver. Snail mail, that's right. Okay. I am going to add this, so bear with me for one moment, because I think it'll be a little easier for us to see and a little less shaky, give us a little bit more of a stable view to decrease our magnification. So, one sec. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so there were some like really tiny things in here that I saw, maybe a springtail or something else, and some tiny little beetle that I did not recognize in here, which is, I think, important to note because it's just one of those examples. It's an example of how sometimes you don't know what's out there until you start collecting and taking a closer look, because otherwise you wouldn't have collected it. Like I wouldn't have collected those tiny little beetles or springtails or whatever they are in here if I hadn't just taken a chunk and put it in this box to bring it in to see what there is. Okay, let's see how things are now and how I need to adjust. I probably have to lift this up to get it in focus. Yes, correct. Whew. All right. Anything else I need to do while we're up here? Okay, cool. I guess turn up the brightness because now it's farther away. You can see a lot of like, oh, there's a little tiny bug in there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but something really like a little mite probably is in there. If you were a bug, asks Coachy Poo, what bug would you want to be? It's a great question. It's really hard to pick. I'd probably want to be a bug that can fly and also swim. So maybe some sort of diving beetle, perhaps, because water can be really beautiful and I can fly from one body of water to the next body of water. Golden tortoise beetles are cool. I really love them and appreciate them. They don't swim, so I think I'd pick one that swims. How about you? Thanks. That's how I pick, if I ever picked an animal in general, that's probably how I'd pick it too. Like if someone said pick a bird, I'd probably pick a bird that can swim and fly. Versatile to go see the sights. All right. So we have a member here who's really on the go. Oh, and here's a nice view of, let me get this in focus. Uh-oh, it got a bit out of focus, I can see with the broadcast. So hopefully that'll resolve in a moment. Oops. I'm trying to get this focus. Yes, I want swimming and flying. Yeah. Uh-oh. All right. Must delay because, right, you guys? It's kind of fuzzy on your end. Oh, there we go. It's back. Right? It cleared up. The resolution or visuals cleared up, I think, on that end too. Looks like it did. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can really see this beetle larva here trying to dig back into the log. It probably uses its mandibles to move around and break down the wood. I wanted to make the analogy that sort of like how humans take dead plants and build houses with them. It's kind of what happened with these animals too. They are living in a dead tree, dead plant. Although of course they're not able to use as many tools as we use to. Wow, that earwig like is not even visible on the screen because it's moving so fast. Oh, look, you can see it using its mandibles, guys. Let's zoom in. Oh, which way? This way. And focus. Well, it is really hard to actually see it because that's the nature of things that live in the soil. That's hard to see them. It's really different from looking at insects that are on a flower. It's just so, out in the open, those flowers sometimes. Not all flowers, but many are. And so, oh, do you guys see what that is right there? It's the eye of the snail that's popping back into focus. The snail might be the star of our broadcast today. It's just very convenient and very out in the open because it doesn't care as much about being down in the debris. It's like, what's going on around here? Yep, dramatic entrance. Whoop, pop your eye in, and then the rest of your body follows. David has figured out the perfect birthday gift for me. A log full of bugs. Yeah, it's very entertaining. Yeah, a log full of life. A house. An invertebrate house. Yeah, photobombing. Totally. Okay. Oh, guys, a springtail. Yes. Okay. Nice and out in the open. A globular springtail. Let's get this in focus. Okay. All right. Hopefully it won't move around too much. Oops. Darn it, where'd it go? Oh, stop moving! I think it's playing dead. That's very helpful if it is. Okay, do you guys see that? Darn, it's moving so fast. That's the problem. This is why it helps to have non-living specimens for things like this. But hopefully you got a quick little glimpse of that. What's the size of it? It was probably just like, it's probably just a couple of millimeters. Here, I'll put this down. So if you're looking at we were just looking at it by this piece of debris, so that hopefully gives you a sense that oh, it's right there. It's still on that chunk right there, blending in really well. Hopefully it'll. Darn. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't get it in super focus for everybody because of the way that it moves so much. Is that why? Or is like some piece of the glass need to be washed? Or maybe because the underneath is too bright? Maybe I need to not use white. Let me get rid of this white. Hopefully that'll be better. Alright, will it focus better now? I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I should just need to call the company because it's not that. Oops. Let's see if it can focus now. Okay, yeah, it's pretty terrible. Let me take this off. Oh, darn. Yeah, I need to figure that out. If it's like the scope or like what the deal is with why I'm not able to get that in focus well. Haha, I can do it pretty well this way. But it's moving so much. This is some sort of globular springtail though, everybody. They're called springtails, Columba, because they have this little apparatus on their body that helps them jump really like amazing distances for their size. And so that's why it's called a springtail, because it's a tail that springs them into the air. Oh, here we go. It's like pretty in focus. Look how cute it is. And the colors too. It's like reddish and yellowish and greenish as well. I don't know what it's doing. I feel like it must be tasting something on this piece of whatever this is that it's on. Yes, it's still for a moment. Of course, it's still like a bit hard to get all of it in focus because of its size, because it's pretty tiny. But I'll take a picture. I'm gonna take a picture, everyone. Snap. Oh, it's cleaning its antenna. And the scale, yeah. Hopefully, you got a sense of the scale. There's a millimeters right there. So it's about like 1.5 or maybe 2 millimeters, but it's also not at the same level right now as the scale. It's like just a little bit off the ground. And maybe, yeah, if this one had 1 or 2 coffees already, it looks like it's crashing, which is good for us because it means it stopped moving. Yay! Kochi Poo, answering the question of what bug to be, says, I would want to be a bug with really big, bugged out, creepy eyes. Any suggestions? Yes, there's a type of mayfly, Ephemeroptera. I don't remember like which Ephemeroptera, which species it is, but if you look up like mayfly with really weird eyes, I bet you it'll come up on Google. Guys, it's posing for the camera. Let's zoom in more while we can. Hello. It's really it's cooperating very well. Yay, good job. It's cleaning itself, that's why. Insects are so good at their ablutions. I'm gonna take a little picture. I shall take a little recording. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up with the bug scope. I've never recorded yet with this app, but we're trying something new. Yeah, it blends in really well with what it's on. Okay, I think I'll include like a little down, moving down, and then moving back up maybe. Oh. All right, now it looks like it might be walking away. I don't know. It's roaring. Can you hear it? Can you hear it roar? as it wiggles around on its piece of soil. That's declaring it. This island is my little Springtail island. Do we have these bugs in Pennsylvania? Asks Terrence. Yes, definitely, we do. I don't know about this exact species because I'm not familiar with the species distribution, let alone like different species of Columbola, but we definitely have this globular species in Pennsylvania. What is it doing? It's like really hard to even tell, like once again, because it's so tiny and it's hard to manage the depth of field. But yeah, we have it. If you ever like, one way you can probably try to find one is if you were to put a bucket of water outside in the grass in your backyard and just see what ends up jumping in and falling into your bucket back there, I bet you some springtails will jump into it. They really like moisture. And oftentimes, like one way that people know them is sometimes they'll become like pests or they'll overpopulate a garden, like a, not garden, but like a house plant container sometimes if there's good conditions for them to eat. They just eat like organic material. Oh, look, it's like wiping off its antennae right now with its hand. Just like a cat. Yeah, it does its ritual cleansing routine. It is doing something like this. Maybe that's tasting, I'm not sure. But it's not jumping, which is good, because if it was jumping around, we would not be able to follow it and watch it. It is interesting how sometimes it looks like it does like wiggle in ways that, yeah, like right now, like in ways that don't seem like functional or like necessary, if that's the right word. It's really, isn't it cute, you guys? Springtails are cute. They're very cute. And look at those fuzzy antennae. You can see a little white. Let's zoom in some more. Zoom back into it. You can see those little white, like fuzzy hairs all around the antenna. Now it's cleaning its legs and its belly. Go, little guy, go. Or girl, I don't know. Wow, we're getting really close. Really zoomed in. Let me move it down for us all. Or is it up? I don't know. Yeah, down. Guys, it's so cute. Isn't it cute? Look, oh look, you guys, you can see the eyes. Do you see how the eyes are? Like, you know how I talk about compound eyes? Their eyes are kind of more basic in that they're not all clumped together as one compound eye. You can see here a bit of how the eye cells are more like spread out rather than one collective unit of eye. So here it is wiping its legs or wiping its antenna. Do you think it's cleaning its antenna or cleaning its feet? That's the question. Probably cleaning its feet. Or maybe it's tasting what's on its feet with its antenna. Frank says it's dancing to the music in its head. Yeah. Yeah, they eat plant material. There was one time when I saw a bunch, not this group, not this family, but like a more skinny family. I forgot what is. I'm just gonna look up the family name. If someone else did it, go ahead and drop it in the chat. But oh, let me iNaturalist this one. Okay. Take a picture of it on the screen and see if it tells us what it is. We have a family. It's telling us a family. It says this is the family that it says it is. It looks accurate, wouldn't you think? It says it's Dicertomidae. I don't know how to pronounce that. Something like that. Oh, let me get a picture of it right now too, because it does look rather It's like posing pretty well right here. Okay. Ready for your bug scope class portrait? Snap. Hopefully it was smiling. Yeah, it's very pretty insect. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it's one of the main three groups of springtails, Columbella, and doesn't really have that so much information on them, but yeah. Other types of springtails have more slender bodies. And there was one time when I was looking at some like grass or clover up close, and there were a bunch of springtails that were eating something that was on the plants. I don't know if it was a fungus or like what sort of organic thing it was, but they just eat little bits of like this and that, and probably varies from species to species, but I don't know exactly what they eat, but they're not like carnivorous on other insects, but it's like maybe plant or fungus material that they eat, or detrivores or something like that. Okay. Yes, that's in the springtail family. So, yeah. Yeah, it does look like it's wearing like a silver collar or something like that. It's very bright compared to the rest of its body. And it's really interesting how still it's gotten. Um, do you guys want to see what happens if we poke it or like say hello to it with, I'll use the tip of this pencil. We'll say hello to it and see how it responds. It's really hard to do because it's so tiny. I'll take a picture to show you guys how tiny. It's like hard to do. It's like even really hard to do. Okay. Here we go. I'm going in. Let's see if it senses what it senses. Hi, Springtail. Yeah, that was really hard to do, but it didn't really care so much. It just was like, okay. I can't help but wonder if it's like maybe releasing some sort of chemical or something. Or silk. It really looks like it's releasing something. Like, I can't help but wonder if by touching it like that, I kind of maybe triggered it to re-mark its territory. And so maybe that's what it's doing right now. I don't know enough about Columbella to be sure, but it was very chill. Maybe it's really confident in its camouflage as well, and maybe it didn't sense any like scary chemicals from the pencil, because sometimes things that are really ridiculously camouflaged, when you go poke them or move them, they don't even respond to you because they're not there. I've had that once with a katydid that was in Borneo, and it would just let you like push it to the side and it wouldn't move at all because I think because it was just such a camouflage based organism. Oh, it has a little bit of a shimmer on its face. Let's zoom in while we can, because this way maybe we can see its mouth a bit more. There's a little bit of an iridescent shimmer there. Oh, you can see a little bit of its springtail there. See that the bit of a fork there. It's also like blowing bubbles or something. I don't know what's going on. But for a moment there we could see the tail. Looks like a two-pronged tail that was tucked under its body. And it looked like it kind of came around, I don't know, maybe its butt or something like that. But yeah, interesting. Let's zoom in all the way. Hello, little springtail. It's definitely like making bubbles of some kind. I can't wait until, well, I guess this is kind of bifocal actually. I can't wait until I can show you guys things through a bifocal camera. I don't know if you saw my thread on Twitter today, but it's about just like how shiny things, like they're harder to show through a camera because a camera just shows you one view. It's like you close one eye and look at something. When something's shiny and you look at it through one eye, you don't perceive, you can't really pick up on the shininess as much because when you have the two eyes, you can see the two different colors that come from the shine. It's harder to portray when there's only one. Oh, you can see the springtail right there, everyone. If you look on the left, it looks like a leg that's sideways and in the wrong spot. I can't really point at it, but can you guys see my mouse? No, my mouse is not seen. Wait, here, I can draw. Right there. This thing right here, that's the springtail of the springtail. I need to learn these tools. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. That's the springtail right there. Yeah, same when you try to take a photo of a spider web. These things, I mean, there's definitely something to be said about the fact that when you see it with your own eyes, it's like you get a whole more intense experience. So sometimes maybe it's a good thing because it encourages you to get out there and see it for yourself. But it'd still be nice to share in cases where there might not be access to the organism. It's really awesome how chill this springtail is. There's no way I'd be able to chase. Wow, doesn't it look like glowy? How does this look? One moment. I'm gonna hijack this and see how it looks. Well, I can't see it with both eyes right now because the camera is taking up one of the bifocal lenses, but it is like tasting the soil here. And look, yeah, there's the springtail back there, and something is moving or pumping. I don't know if do you guys see that color change, the dark and the light? I don't know what that is, but let me turn the brightness up even more, see if that can, nope, can't go up any brighter. I'm gonna try to add some more light. Okay. The more light, the better with macro. I don't even want to leave this springtail for fear that we'll never get a springtail be like this again. But I'm sure we could if we tried. It's just a very cooperative springtail. There's its fuzzy butt. All right. Oh, Georgia's asking the bubbles might be it leaving sperm behind. Oh, is that how these ones work? I'm not familiar with. I feel like it wouldn't do that unless if it was a male, I feel like it wouldn't do that unless a female was around, so it would know that it wasn't wasting it, because I'm sure a lot of other organisms would find that to be very nutritious. But, oh really? It just does it like here and there, wherever it goes? Interesting. Fascinating. George is saying someone else help Google. Maybe I'm no expert, but no, yeah. That's yeah, I don't know anything about their mating rituals or anything like that. And but yeah, there's a lot I don't know about them. But anyway, let's go look at some of the other friends in here that we haven't really looked at yet. This is definitely one that I did not see when I went to pick it up. This is actually a really nice view of all its hairs glowing, so I want to take one more picture of it here. Okay. So zooming out, bye little springtail on your island. The springtail on the island. See, it's totally on an island. This is all zoomed out. What's that poem? To see heaven in a wildflower, to see earth as a grain of sand, something like that. To see earth as a grain of sand and heaven as a wildflower. Anybody know that? Terrence says this is the only place you'll hear fuzzy bug butt. There is some good discussion of that too on entomology Twitter. There's lots of love for bee butts, for example, and they have very fuzzy butts. So if anybody is craving more of that, go onto Twitter, entomology Twitter. Yeah, especially because you can really get good views of fuzzy bee butts when they're really digging into flowers, and sometimes they even fall asleep with their butts sticking out of flowers. So, oops. All right, next. We can say hi to the millipede for one more time while we're here. Hello, millipede. I have not ID'd the millipede yet. You can see it's really funny to see all the ring light, all the rings on each of the segments of the millipede. Oh, it's running away. Okay, let's see. Gonna do some digging around. Oh yeah, there's this weird worm in here too, you guys. It's kind of freaky. We can look at that. And then I think we'll wrap this up for now. Because it's been almost an hour now, or just about an hour, but there's this really weird worm in here that's stripy and very yellow. I hope it's native. I'll do seek and see before it squirms away. Okay, get it in focus first. Okay, let's see. All right, we don't have an exact species, but maybe Arrowhead Flatworm? Introduced. No! Not a native species. I wonder where it's from. There's the arrowhead. Do you guys see the arrowhead of it? Wow, it's such a funky animal. Picture. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Georgia, for sharing it. To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, to hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. So, to see a world in a little bit of soggy log. That's what we're doing here. Seeing worlds in soggy logs. So this is a non-native worm that I don't know where it's native to yet, but it's pretty wild looking. The only place I've ever seen like flathead worms like this before were in Borneo, where I saw one that was zebra striped, like black and white. But yeah, planaria. Yeah, it is called the Hammerhead Flatworm. Distribution, let's see. Native to Southeast Asia, but currently found worldwide, was probably introduced by international plant trade, and it is frequently found associated with plant pots. So I'll bring it back to Borneo with me. JK, don't do that. But sounds like it came from that part of the world. So although it was probably, of course, not born there at this point. So pretty fascinating organism, though. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much damage. If it caused a lot of damage, I'm guessing we'd maybe hear about it in, like we hear about the spotted lanternfly, but I'm not sure. And here you can see down below in the background of this view is the grub, the beetle grub. Cool. Yeah, shall we dig around for one more or call it a day? I'll look around a little bit more to see if there's anything else that really stands out, but this was fun to explore, everybody. Thanks to, little shout out to Ruman for suggesting to go get a piece of log and look at it. I was actually not that sure that we'd find this much, and then all of a sudden I lifted up one piece of the log and voila, there was so much. So that was very delightful. All right, yeah, let me see if there's any other last organisms to show. We'll look at like a random piece of debris and see if anything's wiggling around in it. I see a little piece of exoskeleton here. Looks like someone's exoskeleton is right. I'll circle it with this thing. That looks like a piece of exoskeleton to me. I'll zoom in because I know that I can probably see it the best. And see it there? It looks like just someone molted and their shred exoskeleton is there, unless like it's left over from a insect of some kind passing away, but I don't really know. I'll poke at it if I can find it. I can't even find it. All right, where's the screen? Down. It's really tiny. This is the tip of the pencil. Like I can't even see it with my own eyes. Didn't really help get any more information on what exactly that is. Oh, but there is a leg. Maybe it's a little spider or something. Hard to say. Anyway. Oh, yeah, me too, Terrence. I can suggest that to Haps because I know that would be really helpful here on this broadcast. Here, I'll try to zoom in some more for us, though, in the meantime. Here. I think that's the best I can do. I don't know what it is, though, except maybe some sort of spider. I can't even see it, like I said. Is it here? Oh, there it is. I think it is a spider. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I would never be able to see this with my own eyes. It's like definitely smaller than a millimeter though. Wow. Well, maybe I could if with like a magnifying glass, but that's not my own eyes. Did I lose it? Darn. Is that it? Oh yeah, that's it. All right, one more little zoom in to see if we can figure out what it might be. My guess is spider. Wow, I need like more light, but I can't get more light. Sorry guys for the shakiness. I don't know why it's so shaky. Okay. Switch to YouTube on TV. Nice. Nice, Terrence. Were you watching on the computer before or on like your phone or mobile device? Out of curiosity. Oh, I think it's rocking because one corner of this is off. That's so funny because I can't even see it rocking. I'm trying to like not breathe. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but maybe it's a spider. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay, let me see if there's any last other things we can peer at. I'm taking this away though to look. So we can see. The thing is that I think a lot of things that got disturbed have hunkered back down in like holes and crevices. Also, I think that earwig that we saw in the very beginning that wasn't moving is just not in good condition for some reason. I don't know why. But we can take a look at that for a moment. Oops. There's the belly. Too bright. It's kind of shiny, which makes it harder to look at. But here it is. You can see its little tarsal claws really well on the ends of its feet. And oh, you can see its mouth really well. Its eyes. You can see like all those palps around its mouth that help it touch and manipulate its food as it's working with its food. It looks like there's like two little spouts on the tip of one of them too, which I don't know what that is, but I feel like it must exude something. Maybe is it like anti? Someone look it up. Someone look it up. I'm gonna look this up later. I can't help but wonder if it might be some sort of like, it could just be feeling, but I can't help but wonder if there's something that it might like release. Because those look like, they just look kind of like spigots of some kind, but I don't know. It's in a 100-year slumber. As opposed to this other one, which is running around like crazy. In contrast. Oops, I just zoomed back out. Oops. It's the shininess of it's very challenging. Makes it hard to. There we go. Yeah, here's our sleeping earwig. And it interestingly has those stripes, those white stripes at the end of its antenna, and that's a mystery that I'm very curious about. Why do insects have stripes on their antennae sometimes? It's probably just to break up their body form, but it is unknown. It could be in very deep diapause. It could be. Maybe it's okay, it's just in very deep diapause, and it's going to take a while for it to really warm up and come back to life. Here's the top view. I flipped it over for us. Yeah, I mean, earwigs are very clean animals. They're very good at taking care of their young. So yeah, here's another view. And there actually are several, there's also a European species of earwig that's invasive to here. So if friends, if you find in Europe that you're lacking your dear earwig friends, we have backup supply here in the US. Okay. We'll say, okay, so let's wrap it up with the millipede. And then, yeah. Oops, trying to get focus. So there's our millipede friend who's really on the go. Those bright colors are warning colors because the millipedes oftentimes have toxins to protect them from being eaten or munched on. And so you can tell it's a millipede because millipedes have two legs on either side per segment, as opposed to centipedes, which have one leg on either side per segment. This one's backing up. I don't know why. Back up, back up. And also millipedes usually will eat, like, they're usually scavengers eating different types of organic materials. Oh, and here's the other. Oh, let's look at the other millipede because it's more at rest, so it's going to be easier for us to take a look at. It's hanging out over by the... I wonder if we have two different species of earwigs. Probably not, but we could. It's wearing bright styled workout clothes. That's right. So no one gets in its way. Oh, look, there's another millipede of some kind. That pale little arthropod. Maybe it's a baby. For all we know, it could be a baby of this other one. I don't know. Take a picture. Doing its thing, running around just like all the other bugs in here. You can see all the frass. Sorry guys, it's very poopy bug scope because of course, yeah, there's a lot of, with all this activity, there's a lot of frass. All those little bits are insect poop, but it blends right in. Not a big deal. Actually, our very frantic not centipede, earwig friend over here is at a rest, so it's a good time to stop by and say hello to it. I'm going to put this back in so that we can see it better because it's kind of too zoomed in for us to see right now. So let's reduce our magnification. Hopefully I'm screwing this on the right way. I don't think I am, but I think now I am. Okay, yeah. Nope. Find the threads. All right, I need to move this over. And look at it. It helps when I look at what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Maybe not. Okay, yes, it's working. Cool. Yay, I did it. I'm getting better. All right. And it's still there, which is also good. Just need to do this higher now. Okay, yeah, here's our other centipede friend. I don't know. I bet you the other one's a younger one, maybe, because the coloration's different. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the legs of this one are bright yellow, and the legs of the other one are much paler. So I'm going to see if I can get an ID for this one too with Seek. Okay. Yeah, it says it's the same kind. Cool. I wonder if this one's even a female because it has a really big abdomen. Shall we see what happens if I put this between the pinchers? Yeah, no, it doesn't really care so much. It's probably just like, hey, what's going on back there? Yeah. Anyway. Cool. I'm gonna wrap up the broadcast now. Thanks everybody for tuning in and exploring this life from the log with me today. Oh, whoa. Where did the snail go? I think the snail ran away. I'll have to try to find it. Unless it's hunkered in here somewhere. Not sure. I don't know. I'll have to look around for the snail. But goodbye from me and all the buggies from the log. I'll probably return them to their little house haven after this brief sabbatical from that. This beetle was so still, and then once I brought it out into the light, it just started. I can just imagine it wailing like a baby, being like, ah, need to get to the dark again. Yep, the snail ran away with blinding speed. I will be on a snail hunt. It took the mail and ran away. Terrence says, I wonder if a polarizing filter. I'm going to turn off the screen sharing now. Asks if a polarizing filter might help. Oh, it's a good question. It's good. I think, yeah, what I'll probably do is reach out to the company, maybe. I don't know who would make that for a microscope, a dissection scope, but I don't see the snail in here, so I hope I can find it. It took its job seriously of delivering that mail. Okay. All right. Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining. Oh, heads up. Next week, Sips and Spiders returns at 6 p.m. with Sebastian and Solange. So stay tuned. I'll put it on the calendar online. Thanks for joining. It was fun. And I appreciated all your comments and questions. And have a great week. So cheers. Bye, Frank and David and Terrence and Georgia and everyone else who may be here but not commenting and replay viewers as well. So take care. Have a great weekend. And if you don't have the app Seek already, make sure you download it because it's a lot of fun. Cheers. Oh, and here's the size of what we were looking at. We were looking at all the different animals in this container to give a sense of scale once more before parting. So